This is Alex Stuber with Destiny Leaders and Destiny Leadership Institute. And today I have with me Pastor Sam Lee from Austin, Texas. Pastor Sam, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. It is a great morning, and I'm excited to be here with you, bro.
It is a beautiful day in Austin. We're both kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum, north and
Yeah.
south Austin. But this is the best time of year because it's bearable. It's not too hot. It's a great time of year here. Well, you are the young adults pastor at Christian Life Austin. And
Yeah.
Christian Life, if I can say so, and I can because I'm recording, one of the best churches in America. I mean, what you guys are doing is
Thank you.
incredible, especially in a city like Austin that a lot of people would look at and say, it's very secular,
Mhm.
postmodern, all these different words people throw around. But I'd love to just hear what God is doing at Christian Life right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. And I second that. I love this church. I love Christian Life. And what we're seeing, I mean, is explosive growth. And I wouldn't even say that it's like particular to Christian Life. I think there's a lot, it's happening in a lot of different places, but because this is the context for which I'm doing ministry and I'm doing life with people here, we're seeing explosive growth. And the really cool thing that we're seeing, and I don't know if this is happening everywhere, but I feel like we're seeing growth wider and deeper at the exact same time.
Mm,
And so the numbers are rising. We're having more first time guests than we've ever had in our whole entire life. We're having more people returning back to church. We're record breaking numbers. We just launched a fourth service. All of these things are incredible,
wow.
but the real win I think for us is that we're growing deeper at the exact same time. And I don't think that
Hmm.
that I've been able to see that a lot in a lot of ministries, that you're growing wider but also deeper. So at the exact same time, we just had Freedom Conference where almost 200 people receive the Holy Spirit, and so it's
Come
like,
on.
okay, that's
Come
that's
on.
a number I want to celebrate as well. On top of that, we've had almost over 1,000 people like actually verify, fill out a card, and say, "Hey, I received salvation. I stepped into a
Mm,
relationship with Jesus this year." I mean, we're seeing some other numbers like that are really going deeper. Even across like our groups, and I'm sure every church has their own model of group models or whatever else, but the most amount of people who were like consistent and actually showed up and actually like checked in, attended a group this year than we've ever seen before. And so it's really cool to be able to see like we're growing wider, but we're also growing really deep. And there's
mm.
people who are showing up who are expressing that. I want more opportunity to serve my community. I want more opportunity to go deeper in my faith, to understand, the Holy Spirit, how it works in my life. So, anyways, I think it's a really cool season that we're in where we're seeing both like growing wider, but there's also a depth to our ministry. I mean, people can notice it immediately whenever they walk in. And so it's a special season here at Christian Life Austin. It really is. I love it.
I love to see it. I've been coming around Christian Life Austin really my whole life. My mom, when she was a teenager, I think was a member of the church there, and so it's been cool. One of the things I love about Christian Life is the generational impact. And I know you're working a
100%.
lot with young adults, and maybe we'll talk about that in just a second. But just a reflection of generations, really a true reflection of the community, whether that is the generations or diversity in ethnicities or
Yeah.
socioeconomic statuses, all these different things. I love how Christian Life brings all that together. And I really think that that's a lot of power of what you guys are seeing. Is that something that, you guys talk about? Is it intentional? Is it
Yeah.
just an overflow from the leadership of
Yeah.
bringing all those diverse people together?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a lot of different reasons and factors, but I love this. I love that element of the church as well. That you've got elders who have been in the church for 20 plus years, who are integrating in with younger people who are
Hmm.
brand new and fresh to their faith. And then you've got, I mean, just being completely honest, there's a lot of different racial groups that are coming
Hmm.
together, and even like religious backgrounds. Like, I don't know,
Hmm.
what we're seeing a lot is a lot of Catholics coming
Wow.
to our church. And so we're seeing even that element of things like shifting and changing. We're seeing Muslims coming. We're seeing
Mm,
Buddhists, ex-Buddhists or ex-Muslims who are coming into our church. And so it goes even beyond just the racial or age demographic, but like there's
hmm.
so many different types of people who are coming. And I think it's a reflection, like you said, of our city, of the city of
Hmm.
Austin. And so I think it really, if I was going to attribute it to a couple of things, but one of the main things is the heart of Pastor Rex, our senior pastor. And I've noticed like he's constantly positioned himself around even younger people
Hmm.
with innovative ideas. Even though honestly, when he speaks, I'm quiet. I'm like, you got
Right.
the floor. I'm not
Right.
saying anything unless asked to speak because you've got so much wisdom. But it's really cool to be able to find a senior pastor who has had success, has sustained that success, and is constantly bringing another generation, a younger generation, or different voices into the room and saying, "I want to know what you have to say." And so I think it starts from there, and then it trickles down into the rest of our ministry. And so we're seeing it across all of our ministries. And I mean, even in our young adult ministry, one of the things we integrated a year ago, which was a huge step for us, was integrating in elders to our young adult ministry, because I felt like God
Mm.
said, you can't do young adult ministry without elders. And so I'd always seen young
Wow.
adult ministry done with, your traditional 35-year-old,
Hmm.
pastor or whatever else, working with college students. And that's pretty much the cap. The oldest people who are in the room are
Hmm.
30, 35 years old. And then you've got all these youngsters. And so I felt like God was like, hey, get together about 6 elders, couples who would be willing to just show up. And so now we've got elders who show up every single Tuesday, who their main role is to be mothers and fathers.
Hmm.
Biblically, it says like there's not many
Right.
fathers among you or whatever.
Right.
And so it's the whole concept of, we just need more moms and dads like in the room who are really shepherding and mentoring and discipling.
Hmm.
And so that was a huge game changer for our ministry, was even bringing in some of those older elders who are seasoned and wise to integrate into our young adult ministry. But we're seeing it across all the ministries.
I love that. That was going to be my next question was going to be about your young adults ministry, because I've witnessed it myself. Me and my wife, we've attended, even though I wouldn't consider us young adults. You were so gracious inviting us, letting us hang out. But just I mean, it's something powerful to witness. It's almost one of those things, unless you're in the room of what God is doing. And
Yeah.
so, maybe there's some people watching this, and I know we have, obviously every generation has new challenges. I know as well, we've even had conversations. People are just kind of people, it's the same problems with a
Yeah.
different package sometimes. But if someone's watching this and they really want to grow that young adult population in their church, they want to reach more young adults, college age, young professionals, what advice would you give them? Would it be bringing in elders, or is there something else? But what advice could you give to a leader that maybe has a burden for that right
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a great question. I think showing them that they matter.
now?
I know that sounds really simple, and it's not nuanced or crazy or anything, but like just showing the next generation that they really do matter. And so if you want to invest in the next generation, then your young adult ministry cannot be just something you've put together and you've just thrown people into a room and said, hey, y'all do
Hmm.
something. Like, there requires a level of intentionality and some work and some effort that's going to go behind it, and showing them that they matter, and then empowering them. It's just like Pastor Rex. I've taken a page from his, book, and his wisdom is, even in YA, there's been some ideas that have come from 18-year-olds. Even in
Hmm.
YA, there's been some ideas that like a 19-year-old or 20-year-old with a camera was like, hey,
Right.
can we shoot this? Can we do this? And I'm like, run it. Let's go. Let's see
Hmm.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And like it pops off. And there's even a post my wife was telling me in the car that just popped off because some girl found this like trending audio, and it's not even like specifically a Christian one, but it was like a trending audio, and it just popped off. And like the reels has like, I don't know, 60K views or whatever. It's
That's
the most crazy
crazy.
thing like that. And it's like, and
Right.
so anyways, like looking to Pastor Rex in that example, it's like that he always empowered like the next generation, always showed that they mattered. And so, yeah, I think that's like a part of it. It's just like, if you're looking to establish that and build that, it's like showing that those things matter, that a young adult ministry matters, and it's not just a side dish or just something you're putting to the side, because this is the next generation. These are the people who are going to be leading the church, your church
Hmm.
in the future. And so I think that would be the big thing. And like I said, just empowering them. And then also in
Hmm.
the same element, like in the same breath, this is just coming to my mind right now, is like empowering them and holding them accountable. I think that's one of the
Okay.
things that I've learned doing working with young people, is like there has to be an accountability there, right? Because you and I probably know that it's much easier to continue to work with more mature older people because you
Hmm.
can rely on them. They're going to show up, they're going to get the job
Yeah.
done. If they said they're going to do it, they're going to do it for the most part. Everybody, humans. But working with young people, this is the trade-off. You might get really innovative ideas, but less consistency,
Mm.
and
Okay.
they might not be as reliable. But if you
Right.
can take that young person who has those really innovative, crazy, and creative ideas, and you can really channel them, right? Like the word of God says, like the hands and arrows in the hands of a warrior. Like if you can
Hmm.
really put them on a trajectory and you can really hold them accountable and say, hey, let's show up. Hey, be here on
Hmm.
time. hey, be a person of your word. Like you can really move the needle with your
Hmm.
next gen ministry. And it's hard and it's tough, like having those conversations, but that's holding the standard. And I think that in the
Right.
end, young people always receive it, and it's always, yeah, it's always received well. And so, yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that part of accountability because I think a lot of people at a surface level would say, oh, this generation, whether they're talking about Gen Z or millennials, maybe even Gen Alpha that's coming up, like they don't want that accountability. But like you said, I think we've seen in our friends and even in trends and things that are happening when people get called to that higher standard because it's so different from what they've heard, they're drawn to it. And if
yeah,
we think about it, all of those mature believers that you just talked about that are easy to work with, they all started out immature and someone had to have those conversations with them. Someone had to teach them how to serve and be consistent and to give and all these different
right.
things. So that's incredible. I've been able to see the fruit. You guys are doing incredible things.
Thank you.
Switching gears a little bit, I'd love to hear when you're talking about raising up and empowering young leaders, and that's what we're all about here at Destiny Leaders and DL. And I know you guys have a DLI extension site that
Mhm.
you kind of put your own branding on and have ran
Yeah.
with. I'd love to just hear a little bit about how that's gone and the impact that it's making in the church right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's been incredible. It's been incredible. Really, DLI was the perfect tool or resource for our ministry because what we were seeing was there were a lot of young people who wanted a deeper level of investment, who wanted more tools and resources, who wanted to grow and be sharpened. And I felt like we were kind of reaching our cap. Obviously, there's always ways that you can grow in your leadership within the church and, move up on a serve team, and you can become a team lead, and you can like start overseeing more things. You can give them more responsibility. You can invite them into some more
Hmm.
leadership development, which we were doing all of those things, but there was still so many of our young people who were wanting more. And there were several young people from last year, 2024, like rewinding back to 2024, who were wanting to actually go into ministry. It was one of the first times that
Hmm.
we actually asked, hey, does anybody feel called to vocational ministry?
Hmm.
And I remember in 2024, and we were even a smaller ministry. I mean, smaller ministry being 300 or 400 young adults. Like there was still like 50 people that year who said, I want to go into vocational ministry.
Wow.
And so we immediately started cooking and started thinking, okay, how do we resource them? Especially when they were coming to me and they were saying, what is my next step? What do I do?
Hmm.
Especially for me, having graduated from DBU, gone to ministry school, done everything.
Hmm.
And so what we were finding was we were having to send people away. We were having to send
Hmm.
people to, SEU or to DBU or to CFNI or circuit riders, or we were having to send more people away because in order for them to go grow deeper in their knowledge and their biblical understanding and all those things. And so DLI was the perfect integration into our ministry because we were able to take what we do well. I feel like what we do well is that leadership and application, the internship portion of things. I think we've got that down. We were able to
Hmm.
take that and then merge that with something more scholastic, like a collegiate level of learning and Bible learning and Bible school. And so therefore we could now say, hey, we have something to offer you. And I think that was a really big thing for us, was like all those people were like, okay, what do I do? Well, now we have something that we can offer you that can actually take you deeper. And so it was the perfect integration because we wanted to create our own leadership institute. And
Hmm.
so we had a couple of people from our team and even from our staff who have been connected to Destiny Leaders and DLI. And so it worked out really well. And honestly, this was our first semester doing it. And I think we had like 6 or 8 people go through it, which was
Wow.
incredible already. It was
Yeah.
amazing, even for our first year. And we
Hmm.
honestly we launched it, I think maybe a month or a month and a half before the semester started. And so this year we're actually able to ramp it up more. We've already done a couple interest calls for next year.
Hmm.
In our first interest call, I think we had about 25 people on it. And so we'll see
Wow.
what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
already things are ramping up and people are hearing about it, but it has been incredible. It has been incredible. And a lot of the reason why it's been incredible is because we're able to focus on what we do well. And
Hmm.
then we know and we can trust that their biblical learning and teaching is being taken care of. We
Right.
know that for a fact. I'm able to look in and see what kind of assignments. I'm able to see what's being taught in some of these classes. And
Hmm.
I'm like, this is amazing. It's just something we
Hmm.
can't offer. And I don't even think that we're supposed to. I think we're running in our lane and Destiny Leadership Institute is running in their lane. And so we want to partner. We loved getting to partner with you guys this year, and that's going to continue. And so it's been incredible to be able to really grow up those leaders.
Hmm.
And what we've seen is accelerated growth. That's what we've seen this year, is
Okay.
that there were some leaders who maybe it would have taken us maybe a year and a half to get them to where they are, but we pretty much put them on a conveyor belt. I don't know. I'm even thinking like when you go to the airport and you walk on that that thing that
Right.
moves
Those
you
little
fast.
speed sidewalks. Yeah.
Yes, that thing. Some people stand. I don't know why. Okay, you should walk. Anyways, I feel like we put some of our leaders on that conveyor belt and they like started accelerating quickly, man. Like
Come on.
seriously stepping up. I mean, serving in so many different areas of the church. I mean, I'm seeing people serving areas they didn't even commit to serving that area. Now they're serving in it. I'm like, what the heck? And so it's been really cool to be able to see that. And our staff is seeing it. Like our staff is like,
Hmm.
oh my gosh. Like, we have several who are going through it right now, but they're like, oh my gosh, Q is so amazing. She's such a great
Hmm.
resource to us. Oh my gosh, Stephanie, she's really stepped up and she's doing X, Y. Oh my gosh, Mark. Like they're coming back to me and telling me this stuff. So I'm
Wow.
not even the only person who's like benefiting from it. Our entire staff is like, yo, this is my number one
Hmm.
right now. And so I think that's another really big part of it is like our staff is now seeing their number two. Like they're like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, like you're a potential number two, and give it 2 months, 3 months, they're number two. They're running this thing. Like they've got it
Wow.
on lock. And so with DLI, I think that just having a structured, systematic way of learning and going through an internship and trainings has just accelerated the growth and gotten them so excited that they're telling other people about it now. So now more people are getting excited and generating. And so, anyways, I could go on and on, but
Come
it's been
on.
incredible. It's been
That's
incredible.
amazing. And that's just one semester. So I'm excited to see what happens over the next couple of years as you build that pipeline of leaders that are growing. And I love what you said in there. I just want to highlight, I think it's so key that you guys were able to do what you do well and stay in your lane. And I'm sure you have phenomenal educated people on your team and people that could probably even teach some of these classes, but it's maybe a capacity thing. It's a stage of
Mhm.
life thing, whatever. And so you can run with the internships and I know you do additional leadership teachings and different things like that, but you still know they're getting that solid theological, biblical foundation, which I think is so my favorite part of the program because it's just hard to keep that up consistently. With a pastor that you've got service on Tuesday night for young adults, you've got small groups
Yeah.
happening, you've got Sunday coming to do like, oh man, I got to put together an Old Testament survey course right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So I love that y'all are able to do that. One more question. If someone's watching
Mhm.
this, maybe you could speak to both sides, either to a pastor that's considering starting a DLI program at his church or to a potential student that maybe their church is checking out DLI, maybe they have a program, and you could just
Mhm.
give them some encouragement.
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing that with kind of a pastor and then also a potential student?
Yeah, yeah. Now let me start with the student first. That your passion and your craft deserves to be invested in. And I
Mm,
think we live in a time where things are free and they're accessible. And so you can go on TikTok, you can go on YouTube University, you can go and learn these things. But there's something about making a commitment. There's something about, I mean, even from a financial standpoint, maybe it's a challenge or struggle. There's something about I'm gonna go and work some extra time. I'm gonna go and do whatever it takes. I'm gonna go and fundraise. I'm gonna do whatever it takes so that I can get the education that I deserve.
mhm,
There's automatically when someone pays something or like has to actually give something to receive something,
mhm,
they automatically are that much more invested into it. And so I can
mhm,
tell you right now, you can say, oh, I'll look on YouTube or I'll just find some videos on leadership or Bible teachings over this next, the next 3 months and I'll do my own course. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, like your level of like the level of success of whatever course you can create is going to be tremendously lower successful rate than if you were to just go through DLI. And so, anyways, I would say like invest in it. Put some money
mhm,
into it, man. Put some time into it. Like get into those courses, get into those classes. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna be easy. I've had several of my students come and say, "Man, this was a harder week, or this was a little bit more
mhm,
challenging." But every single one of them has come back to me and said, "But it was so worth it. I'm so glad I did
mhm,
that." Like so, anyways, from the student perspective, it's like, man, invest in yourself. This is the
mhm,
time to invest in yourself. Like, don't wait. Like, this is your moment. This is your time. Don't wait anymore. You've invested thousands of dollars into McDonald's this year, okay, or whatever restaurant
come
you've
on,
gone to. Come on,
come
I'm
on.
telling you, why don't you start putting something good on the inside of you and start growing those giftings and that calling on the inside of you? So, from the student perspective, I would say that from the leader pastor perspective, what I can say is exactly what I said before is like this experience literally accelerates the growth of your ministry. And so you can say, "Oh, we've got enough trainings or we got enough teachings here." I'm gonna tell you right now, even like you said, Alex, is like your level of capacity is nowhere near the level of capacity of the DLI leaders and teachers and lecturers and everything else like that. And so I'm like, why would you not want to see your people grow and give them this type of an opportunity? Especially whenever DLI makes it so easy to integrate, makes it so easy for you as a site leader to be able to see what's happening in classes and stuff like that. And so if you're a pastor, you're a leader, I believe this right here, investing in this will secure the leadership of your church in the next 4 to 5 years. This right here might just move the needle of your ministry. This right here might ensure that your ministry in 10 years is even more effective than what it is right here and right now. And so this is about having a future vision for your church, for your ministry, for your city, for your community. It's saying, I want to make sure I invest in the leaders right now so that we can still be effective in 5 to 10 years from now, and 20 years from now, and 100 years from now. It's generational. So that's what I would encourage you with. If you're a leader, if you're a pastor, don't wait, sign up, and join us. Come on,
Don't wait.
hop on board.
What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? Come on,
Yeah,
accelerate the growth, personal growth, the growth of your church. Well, Pastor
yeah,
Sam, thank you so much for taking a little time sharing with us about what God is doing and then your experience with DLI. I'm really excited to see what happens, just as you said, this coming semester, 2025 students interested even
yeah.
more in the future. If you guys need inspiration for your social media marketing, go check out how Christian Life is marketing this, as they do a phenomenal job. And so, hey, thank you so much, Pastor Sam. If you're watching and you are interested in either, if you're a pastor and you would like to start an extension or affiliate site at your church, or if you're a student, you just say, hey, my church isn't doing this, but I want to sign up directly. You can go to destinyleaders.com. We would love to connect with you, get to know you a little bit better, and see how we can help accelerate the growth in your life and in your church. Thank you so much for watching.